Hey everybody, so we are in the TX 550H Plus. What does all those letters and numbers mean? It means we're in the plug-in hybrid version. This is also the most powerful version with 404 horsepower. Like I said, we're behind the wheel right now. We're getting ready to give it a test, see what it's all about. So let's go ahead and get into it.
There is up to 50 miles an hour very quickly in the all-new Lexus TX, but like Drew said, this is not just your normal TX. This is the plug-in hybrid, which is actually the fastest TX that money can buy. It goes 0 to 60 in 5.9 seconds. And although this vehicle is not like super concerned about just the performance, it does have a lot of it, that is for sure.
Yeah, one of the interesting things about this is that it is the plug-in hybrid, and because of that, it makes it the fastest and the most powerful version of the TX, but it's not really the most performance-oriented per se. That's really going to belong to your 500H F-Sport performance model. This version is available in just the luxury trim level, so you're not going to be able to combine the F-Sport elements with this plug-in hybrid for now. But let's talk a little bit about what the plug-in hybrid really is. This is the unique powertrain from the Grand Highlander. The other two powertrains are shared with the Grand Highlander, but this one is exclusive to just the Lexus. And this is combining a 3.5-liter V6 engine with the electric componentry. We don't have the exact specifications on how large the battery is at this current time. Lexus is going to release more information on that pretty soon, but all that combined is what's going to give you such a high power number. And for all you guys that have been kind of lamenting the death of V6
right.
options, like in your RX, for instance, it is pretty cool to see that we have a V6 available here with the TX.
Yeah, I think that's certainly a really big benefit. And yeah, that's 60 miles an hour.
Okay.
I mean, really one of the things that I want to emphasize is that we have been here in Austin, Texas, driving all versions of the TX. So we drove the 350, we drove the 500H. Both of those are going to have turbo 4 cylinders, and this does have that refined V6 engine note. So I definitely like that better than the turbo 4-cylinder with the kind of fake noise being pumped inside the cabin. This just has a really nice and refined sound to it.
I will say one caveat to that, and this kind of brings us into another aspect of the powertrain, is that this is the only version that has an eCVT versus the other trim levels, which have 6 and 8-speed automatic. So that's something to keep in mind, and you'll get to see a good demonstration here actually when we take off from this red light.
Yeah. I mean, power comes on very quickly, but
yeah, for sure. Another thing is that this has standard direct 4 all-wheel drive, so you're not going to have any trouble getting the power down. It's the only way, once again, that you can get this. They're going to be limiting the number of options, at least at the beginning when this goes on sale, to just that luxury model with the direct 4 all-wheel drive system.
They're making it so we get lots of acceleration runs.
I know, we're happy about this.
Yeah, the eCVT performs well. I will say it's a little bit less of a traditional experience than the other versions. It's a little bit weird to have a full big luxury SUV with the eCVT, but the vehicle does a pretty good job of making it seem like a normal powertrain experience, especially under lighter accelerations. We've been driving this for quite some time, and really most people aren't going to be flooring their TX all that much. So that's something to just keep in mind. And I do believe it may have some form of a shift simulation ever so slightly if you just completely mat it to the floor. right, and there was a quick jaunt up to about 40 miles an hour in the full EV mode. Now, one thing I do want to point out about this is that you can switch the different modes that you use based on this button right here.
Hybrid mode is the default drive mode, and obviously that's just going to cycle between the engine and the battery power as best fit depending on your acceleration circumstance. It's also going to be the fastest as well. What we just accelerated under was the full electric drive mode. That's going to lock you in until you have depleted the entire range. In this case, though, let's talk about the range. That's a big deal with these plug-in hybrids, and even though this is a big SUV, 33 miles is what Lexus is currently estimating that this will be able to do on purely electric. That's pretty impressive, I have to say. That's going to take care of a lot of your guys' daily commutes, and the best use of the plug-in hybrids is when you use the electric power very often, you end up kind of making your average fuel economy sky high in a sense. So that's something that I think that's really cool about this plug-in hybrid. They're not saying anything officially about tax credits or anything like that, but there is a chance as well that it could possibly qualify for a tax credit given that this is going to be built in Princeton, Indiana. So that's something to keep in mind as well. But, overall, it's a pretty cool experience to be able to accelerate under full electric power with something so big that you're hauling around the whole family in.
And Lexus has not officially put out numbers for how powerful the electric motors are or the battery pack size, as we mentioned earlier. And because of that, we don't have those, specific details to get you guys. But as you can tell by that acceleration, that was a full EV acceleration. And this is a big vehicle, and it was perfectly fine to keep up with traffic. Really, the vast majority of people are going to have no issues under just pure EV mode.
Right, for sure.
And we're going to leave it in EV mode as we merge onto the freeway here. So, in a sense, we're going to actually just see basically what the top speed is in EV mode, see if the vehicle will actually stay in electric mode as we accelerate onto the freeway.
Alright, so that was a quick little sample there. Really wasn't a full sample, but we were setting about 52 decibels. It looks like 51.2 as Mason was slowing down to about 53 miles an hour. Obviously in pure electric, you're not going to hear the engine, so it stands to reason that this is going to be, your quietest version of the RX.
And now that we're just kind of cruising along on the road, I do want to mention, of course, since the Luxury is the only version of the 550H Plus, of course, it's going to have a very luxurious ride quality. We sampled out the TX 350 Luxury earlier today. The same ride quality applies here for this plug-in hybrid model, which certainly is a good one. Really comfortable seats. Very good at soaking up the bumps. Really no complaints here. It's a full luxury SUV experience through and through.
For sure.
And really this is a prime example, what we're going through right now, of just the use of a plug-in hybrid. This is the type of traffic and stuff. We're here in Austin, Texas. The ACL Festival is going on right now, so there is just incredible amounts of traffic everywhere. So it's a prime example of when you might want to use this plug-in hybrid.
And you're also probably wondering about availability and pricing. Let's address that a little bit. So the regular versions of the TX will be on sale immediately, but this plug-in hybrid version, Lexus is estimating an early 2024 arrival, so we could say maybe something like January. You might expect to start to see this at your local Lexus dealership. And as far as price, they have not officially released the pricing yet. However, we can kind of estimate a price roughly just based on the fact that it's only available in luxury configuration and that the F-Sport 500H is approaching $80,000. So I would think that there's a good chance this is probably going to be about $80,000. It might be a little below that, a little above that. It just depends on how they position it. But I would say a ballpark estimate for you guys interested would be about $80,000.
All right, and let's go ahead and get into our airball and slam dunk. What do we like about this TX plug-in? What do we not like? Drew, let's kick us off with the slam dunk.
Well, the slam dunk, I think, would appropriately be the powertrain and the fact that the pure electric range specifically is very impressive. 33 miles when we're talking about this is a big SUV. You don't see that very often. Well, pretty much any time when you're talking about a big 3-row SUV. I'm impressed by that. And the fact that it's paired with so much power.
Yeah. And we do look forward to hopefully having one of these back home so we can do a full range test, a real-world range test, for those of you guys who are interested. Now, as far as our airball is concerned, you might have already noticed it. Look around this cabin. Anything missing? Hint right up here on the roof. For the plug-in hybrid, I do believe that there is either no moonroof offered. I will check on this, but we don't have it on this particular model.
This is the only trim, so no moonroof is available, as far as we know.
Yeah, so that is going to be something that a lot of you guys miss out on. I believe Lexus said it was for weight that they have no moonroof on this specific example, but I still would like to see it. We've seen other plug-in hybrid SUVs with moonroofs, such as the CX-90 plug-in that we recently had back at home in Lexington, so I think it's going to be a little bit of an odd thing to have an $80,000 SUV with no moonroof. And guys, I think that's where we're going to leave off on this extensive test drive in the all-new 2024 Lexus TX 550h Plus plug-in hybrid. Hopefully you enjoyed this sample of seeing what this 3.5-liter V6 hybrid system is like out on the road. I mean, obviously that's a big deal. It's a exclusive engine for this Lexus TX. The Grand Highlander cannot get this plug-in hybrid version, and we look forward to maybe sampling this out extensively back home in Lexington, doing that real-world range test like I mentioned earlier, and really getting a full sample on what this luxury SUV is all about once we get some of those other final details like battery size, electric motor power, as well as the price for this vehicle. So we look forward to updating you guys with that information as it becomes available. If you're new to the channel, we would really appreciate if you left a subscribe and went ahead and became a part of our Car Confections family. We do a lot of really cool car reviews that you don't want to miss out on. So please hit that subscribe button down below. And if you're a fan and loyal subscriber, thank you so much for your continued support, because you do make this all possible, and we are very thankful for that. We'll catch you next time as we sample more of the latest automotive delicacies.